Hello everyone. Over the years I've spent working in this field, I've come across so many older adults who all deal with the same issues: lower back pain, stiff hips, and that constant struggle when they need to bend over during everyday activities. If you're watching this right now, there's a good chance you've been through those exact same things yourself. Waking up in the morning with your back feeling heavy and achy, having to take a second before you stand up after sitting for a while, or noticing that you're just nowhere near as flexible as you used to be when you bend down to grab something off the floor. A lot of people just figure this is what getting older feels like, but honestly, most of these problems can be seriously improved or even completely fixed once you understand what's actually causing them and start training the right way. In this video, I'm going to walk you through a really practical, easy to follow approach. I'm not just going to show you exercises that help ease lower back pain and build flexibility. I'm also going to talk about what foods you should be eating more of and which ones you should pull back on so you can get the best results out of this. Before we dive in, I want you to do a quick check-in with your own body. Think about it. Do you find yourself struggling to bend down and tie your shoes? Does your lower back feel stiff when you stand up after sitting for a long time? Or maybe when you wake up in the morning and roll over in bed, your lower back feels a little sore or heavy. If any of that sounds familiar, it's a pretty clear sign that your body is lacking mobility, especially in your hips and the backs of your thighs. And if you've got some other symptoms you're not quite sure about, just drop them in the comments down below. I read every single one and I'll help you work through them. Now go ahead and stand up with me and try this really simple movement. Simple. Stand up straight with your feet about shoulder width apart. Then slowly bend forward like you're reaching down to pick something up off the floor. You don't need to go all the way down, just bend as far as feels comfortable. While you're doing that, pay attention. Do you feel tightness in the backs of your thighs? Does your lower back feel uncomfortable? Or do you have to stop before you get very far down? If you're nodding along thinking, yeah, that's exactly me, then you just figured out the core issue. The problem isn't only in your back. The truth is, most of it actually comes from tight hamstrings and hips that have lost their mobility over time. When your hips aren't moving the way they should, your body makes up for it by putting way more work on your lower back every time you bend. And over time, all that extra strain leads to pain. That's also why rubbing it out, getting a massage, or popping pain meds only helps for a little while. None of that gets to the actual root of the problem. In this video, I'm going to take you through 4 carefully picked exercises. They're all really simple. You don't need any equipment, and they go straight after the real cause of your lower back pain. The first one is a hip rotation move. It helps loosen up your hip joints and get them moving better, which takes a ton of pressure off your lower back. The second is a supported hip hinge using a chair. It's a safe way to relearn how to bend the right way with something solid to hold on to, so you're not worried about losing your balance. The third is a standing hamstring stretch. Once those muscles along the back of your thighs start to loosen up, you'll find that bending gets a whole lot easier and your back starts to feel lighter. And the fourth is a functional bend and reach that you can actually use in your everyday life. It trains your body to naturally coordinate your hips, back, and arms together so you can take it straight into your daily routine. To put it in simple terms from a scientific standpoint, our bodies work like one big connected chain. When one link gets tight, like your hips or hamstrings, another link, in this case your lower back, has to pick up all the extra work. These exercises help unlock those tight spots, which takes the load off your back and lets you move the way you're supposed to. On top of the exercises, I also want you to pay attention to what you're eating. If you want to support your joints and bones, make sure you're getting foods like fatty fish, dark leafy greens, milk, eggs, and tofu into your meals. And at the same time, try to cut back on fried foods, sugary drinks, and anything that's really heavy on sugar or salt, because those can actually make inflammation and back pain worse. Everything I'm sharing with you today has one simple goal, and that's to help you reduce pain, move more freely, and feel more confident doing the things you do every day. Now let's jump right into the first exercise. Stand up straight with your feet about shoulder width apart. If you feel a little unsteady, go ahead and stand next to a chair or lightly rest your hand on a wall for balance. This is the hip rotation exercise. It's a very simple move but incredibly important. Slowly lift one foot just slightly off the floor. You don't need to raise it high, just enough so it's not touching the ground. Then start making circles with your knee. Picture yourself drawing a circle in the air with your knee. Start with small circles at first. There's no need to go big right away. The goal here isn't a huge range of motion, it's control. Move slowly and smoothly and keep your upper body steady. Don't lean over to follow the movement. When you do it correctly, you'll start to feel your hip area warming up, and the joint will begin to feel smoother and less stiff than it did before. Do about 8 to 10 circles in one direction, then switch and go the other way, and after that switch to the other leg and do the same thing. This exercise has a very clear benefit when it comes to how your body works. Your hip joint acts like a big hinge for your entire body. When that hinge gets stiff, every single bending movement ends up putting extra force on your lower back. By rotating the hip regularly like this, you're naturally lubricating the joint, improving blood flow, and building up your range of motion. Once your hips start moving better, your lower back gets a huge break. You can actually test it right after you finish. Try bending forward again and see how it feels. A lot of people notice the movement already feels a little lighter and doesn't catch or hitch the way it did at the start. Now that we've woken up the hip joints, let's move into the second exercise, which is really important for relearning how to bend correctly. This is the supported hip hinge with a chair. Stand behind a chair and place both hands lightly on the back of it for support. Keep your feet about shoulder width apart. Slowly push your hips back like you're about to sit down, but don't actually sit. Keep your back straight the whole time. No rounding. You'll feel your upper body tilt slightly forward, but your spine stays in a neutral position, and you should feel a gentle stretch starting in the backs of your thighs. That's exactly what we're going for. Hold that position for about 3 to 5 seconds, then slowly stand back up. Repeat this movement about 8 to 10 times. The whole point of this exercise is to remind your body how to hinge from the hips instead of rounding from the lower back. When you push your hips back and keep your spine straight, the load gets spread through your hips and legs instead of dumping everything onto your lower back. Scientifically, this is called the hip hinge mechanism, which is basically your hip joint doing the job it was designed to do. When you nail this movement, the pressure on your spine drops significantly, and your chances of dealing with back pain go down right along with it. And once this pattern becomes natural for you, everyday things like picking stuff up, lifting lighter objects, or just sitting down and standing back up become so much easier and a lot safer. Take your time with it, move slowly, and stay in control the whole way through. If you feel dizzy or any kind of sharp pain, stop and rest. After finishing those first 2 exercises, your body should already be starting to open up and feel ready to keep going. So let's move into the third exercise, the standing hamstring stretch. Stand up tall and lightly, hold onto a chair or wall for balance if you need it. Step 1 foot forward with your heel on the floor and your toes pointing up toward the ceiling. Keep your other leg steady behind you, then slowly push your hips back and lean your upper body slightly forward, keeping your back straight the whole time, no rounding. You should start to feel a gentle stretch running along the back of the thigh on your front leg. Hold that stretch for 10 to 15 seconds and keep breathing steadily the whole time. Don't hold your breath. Then slowly return to standing and switch to the other leg. Do each side 2 to 3 times. This is one of those really important stretches that a lot of people skip over without realizing how much it matters. Like I mentioned earlier, tight hamstrings pull on your pelvis, and that pulling directly affects your lower back. When you lengthen this muscle group, you're releasing that tension on your spine. Put simply, once your hamstrings loosen up, your back isn't being dragged downward anymore, and the stiffness and pain start to ease up. A lot of people notice a really big improvement in how easily they can bend forward once they've been doing this stretch consistently for a little while. Now that we've worked through that key muscle group, we're ready for the final exercise, one that carries over directly into real everyday life. This is the functional bend and reach. Stand up tall with your feet about shoulder width apart. Place a light object on the floor in front of you. Something like a water bottle works perfectly. Slowly push your hips back, keep your back straight, just like you did in the second exercise, then bend down and reach forward to touch the object. Once you touch it, use your legs and hips to push yourself back up to standing. The important thing here is to stay in control of the movement the whole time. Hips go back first, spine stays straight, then you lower down. Repeat this about 8 to 10 times, nice and controlled. This exercise trains your body to coordinate multiple muscle groups all working together at the same time. Your hips, thighs, back, and arms. And these are exactly the movements you use throughout your day. Things like picking something up off the floor, lifting a light object, or reaching down for something. From a scientific standpoint, it reprograms the way you move. Instead of overloading your lower back, your body learns to rely on the right muscles, especially your hips and legs, and that takes the pressure off your spine. If you keep up with this regularly, you'll find that those small, everyday tasks become a whole lot easier, and most importantly, a whole lot safer. And there you have it. You just work through 4 simple but seriously effective exercises for easing lower back pain and loosening up stiff hips. You don't need to push yourself hard. Just 10 to 15 minutes a day is enough to start seeing real changes. The most important thing isn't how hard you go. It's doing it correctly and showing up consistently. When you combine these exercises with the smart eating habits I talked about earlier, your body will gradually recover, get more flexible, and naturally reduce the pain over time. Be patient with yourself, listen to your body, and start with small steps. The improvement will come faster than you might expect. Now, there's one really important thing that a whole lot of people overlook, and that's nutrition. If you're only exercising and not paying attention to what you eat, you're not going to get the best results. But when you put smart training and smart eating together, your body recovers faster, your joints get more mobile, and the pain goes down noticeably. So let me share some specific foods you should be working into your routine. First up is fatty fish, especially salmon. Salmon is packed with omega-3 fatty acids, which are the good fats that help bring down inflammation in the body. When your joints are dealing with a little inflammation or stiffness, omega-3s help calm that down so you can move more comfortably. Eating salmon 2 to 3 times a week can make your whole body feel lighter and less stiff, especially first thing in the morning. Next is spinach and other dark leafy greens. These vegetables are loaded with calcium and magnesium, 2 minerals that are absolutely essential for your bones and muscles. Calcium keeps your bones strong, while magnesium helps your muscles work smoothly and cuts down on cramping and tightness. When your muscles and bones are working well together, movements like bending over or standing up feel a whole lot easier. The third food is milk. It gives you a solid dose of calcium and is usually fortified with vitamin D, which helps your body actually absorb that calcium. Drinking milk regularly helps strengthen your bones, lowers your risk of osteoporosis, and reduces back pain and the chance of injury when you're moving around. Next are eggs. Eggs are a great source of protein that helps maintain and repair your muscle tissue. When you have strong muscles, especially around your hips and back, your body has better support, which takes pressure off your spine. Eggs also contain natural vitamin D, which is great for bone health. And finally, there's tofu. It's a gentle plant-based protein that works really well for older adults. Tofu also provides calcium to help keep your bones strong, and eating it regularly gives you both protein and joint support without being hard on your digestion. To keep it simple, just remember one easy rule. Get fish, leafy greens, milk, eggs, and tofu into your daily meals. When your body is getting the right nutrients and you pair that with the right exercises, you're going to see real improvement. Less back pain, more flexible joints, and movements like bending and standing up will start to feel so much lighter and easier. Coming up next, I'm going to talk about the foods you should be limiting, because if you're not careful, some of what you're eating could actually be making your back pain and joint inflammation worse. Earlier, I covered the foods you want to add in to support your bones and ease back pain. But to really get the best results, it's just as important to know which foods you should be pulling back on or cutting out. The reality is that certain foods, when you eat them regularly, ramp up inflammation in the body, make your joints stiffer, cause more pain, and slow down the progress you're making with your exercises. First on the list is fried foods, things like fried chicken or French fries. These are loaded with unhealthy oils and fats, and once they're in your body, they can actually trigger more inflammation, making your joints, especially in your lower back and hips, feel even tighter and more uncomfortable. If you're already dealing with back pain and you're still eating a lot of fried food, your progress is going to be a lot slower than it needs to be. Next is sugary soda. It's a really common habit, but it's pretty bad for your bones. Soda can reduce your body's ability to absorb calcium, and over time it can actually pull calcium right out of your bones. That leaves your bones weaker, more painful, and at a much higher risk for osteoporosis. The third group is sweets, things like candy, cakes, and cookies. The high sugar content doesn't just affect your weight, it also drives up inflammation throughout your entire body. And carrying extra weight puts more pressure on your spine and hips, which makes back pain even worse. Another category to keep an eye on is processed meats like sausages, bacon, and deli meats. These usually have a ton of salt and preservatives in them. Eating too much of this stuff can increase inflammation and negatively affect your bone and joint health over time. And finally, foods that are really high in salt, things like instant noodles or pickled items. When you take in too much salt, your body actually flushes out extra calcium through your urine. Over time, that weakens your bones and undoes some of the hard work you're putting in by eating all those calcium-rich foods. You don't have to cut any of these things out completely, but you should limit them as much as you reasonably can, and only enjoy them once in a while. The key is building balanced eating habits. Focus on adding in the good stuff and gradually dial back the things that aren't helping you. When you bring all three pieces together, the right exercises, smart nutrition, and consistency, you're going to see some real dramatic changes in how your body feels. Your back pain will start to fade, your joints will get more mobile, and you'll feel more confident with every single movement you make. Start small, stay consistent, and the results will follow. On top of the exercises and diet, I also want to share a few small but really effective tips that will help protect your back and hips in your day-to-day life. Whenever you need to bend down to pick something up, always remember this. Push your hips back, keep your back straight, and don't suddenly round your spine. If the object is really low down, bend your knees a little instead of forcing the bend from your back. When you're sitting, try to sit up tall with a neutral spine and both feet flat on the floor. And if you have to sit for a long time, make a point to stand up and walk around a little, or do a gentle twist every 30 to 45 minutes to keep your back from tightening up. When it comes to sleeping, choose a mattress that isn't too soft. A medium firm mattress helps your spine hold its natural curve, which reduces the pressure on your lower back through the night. And one more really important reminder, don't wait until the pain gets bad before you start doing something about it. Our bodies respond best when we take care of them early and keep at it consistently. While you're working through these exercises, you can track your own progress with a few simple signs. You'll start to notice that you can bend down more easily than you could just a few days ago without that catching or hesitation. When you stand up after sitting, your back won't feel nearly as stiff, And when you wake up in the morning, your back will feel lighter, and rolling over will feel a lot more comfortable. Those are all really good signs that your body is adapting and healing the right way. At the same time, always listen to what your body is telling you. If you feel any sharp pain, a sudden increase in discomfort, or dizziness while doing the exercises, stop and rest. Doing it right is great, but your safety always comes first. If you found this video helpful, please go ahead and share it with your family or friends, especially anyone else who's been dealing with back pain. Sometimes just a few small changes done the right way can make a huge difference in someone's quality of life. You can also drop a comment below and share how you're feeling or any challenges you run into while doing the exercises. I'll do my best to read through them and address them in future videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I truly wish you continued good health, easy movement, and freedom from lower back pain in your everyday life.